All right, folks. Hey, we are live, but we are going to take just give time for a lot of people to get on board here. So we're on here just a little bit early. We got about 8 minutes before we actually start.
Time for another beer.
Yeah. So we're the best beer in town. We're here to celebrate a great Mr. Crappie Invitational event, and we hope you enjoy it. But we got time. We're going to sit back, relax, 8 to 10 minutes as people build up. So, and if you'd like to, you can go ahead and say something in the comments that would ensure that we know that we've got that everything's working.
We got 3 people. You want to start now?
Me and Marcus, just so everybody knows, we went hunting this evening, and we saw quite a few. I bet you I had shots on 8 does, saw probably 10 deer. Marcus went in the woods. He was a little further down the road. The deer are going to get to him later.
Saw one of the smartest creatures alive. Spike. Let him walk.
Let him walk.
He'll be bigger next year.
We appreciate you guys coming in. The numbers are growing. We are here to recap the Mr. Crappie Invitational and answer any questions you might have. We have a lot to share, without a doubt. If you wouldn't mind it when you're in, could you please comment? We don't see any comments coming through right now. I just want to make sure that it's working. We've had problems with that in the past. Make sure that you can hear us. Marcus is probably...
I'm going to text Layla. She'll always tell me she can hear us.
So I bet you it's not working. Oh, there we go. We got something. All right, cool, man. Awesome. What's up, brother? Cool. Sweet. All right, awesome. We won't worry about it then. We're out. We're done worrying about it. Beautiful Thursday night. Who's playing football tonight?
Packers and caring for whoever the Packers playing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Packers somebody. Figure it out.
So we got 20 minutes before the Packers game starts. So this could be perfect timing. So immediately following the live stream, what is it?
Niners.
Niners. Cool. Who's picked to win that?
Well, the Packers by 7.
Really? Well, anyway, immediately following this, we will upload the first episode from the Mr. Crappie Invitational. So you'll see, there you go. And you'll see the first episode after perhaps the football game. So,
or halftime commercial, something.
Yeah. So we're enjoying our cocktails tonight.
Relaxing from that tough trip.
Yeah.
Woo! I hope the video shows the cold.
Can't talk about it yet.
All right.
Hold it in. Yeah. If you weren't there, you didn't experience it. You have no. We want to share that with you. It was something else. So we got 5 more minutes. We're not gonna 4 more minutes. We're gonna wait for 4 more minutes and then we're gonna get started.
Around here.
Just about anything.
Deer jerky.
Oh, do I?
Deer jerky.
I got that cold cured smoked.
That was good, man. I ate that whole thing.
That was good. I think I got some in there. Actually, in the refrigerator. Actually. I don't know about you slicing it on that table.
Matt's never left me alone in front of the camera and the microphone. I won't mess his YouTube up. It's good to be home.
Definitely good to be. worried about giving this to you.
It'll be all right.
Look at that. Slice that.
Careful, man.
They're really rotated.
You need to explain to them what we got.
I will. I'm gonna turn this music off here. I'm sure there are a lot of guys out there that know about cold cured and smoked summer sausage. It's like rock hard. It's only about that diameter. I'll show it to you here when Marcus is done cutting it, but it's without doubt my favorite processed deer now. So you look at it, it's just really hard to cut through. You get a slice of that about ½ inch, and then you cut with cheese and crackers, and it's unbelievable. And just the smoke texture coming through, you can smell it big time. Oh yeah.
Where's the cheese and crackers?
Yeah, you just getting the deer.
All right. Gabby wants some.
Yeah. Come here, Gabby. Come here. Yeah, she'll come over here right now. Come here.
She's camera shy. Layla's calling me.
Seems like the picture's fuzzy.
We're not on yet, right?
Nope. Well, I mean, we're talking.
Hello. What's up? Are you watching? All right. That's awesome. And then you called me. That's cool.
His daughter.
Well, I love you. I'll call you after, okay? Yeah. What's up? Shout out for Layla. How's that? All right, I'll call you in a little bit. Love you.
Those that watch the episodes, there she is. Come here.
Layla cracks me up.
Yeah. All right, so we'll get started. So I guess we wanted to do kind of a live feed to kind of talk about our experience with the Mr. Crappie Invitational. We thought that it was such a great experience that we felt the need to share it. We also have 5 episodes that are going to debut tonight is the first night for number 1. And so we figured we'd do a live stream, talk about our experiences, and then start that process because that will last for 2 weeks, 5 episodes. And we start with the pre-fish. So I guess you start with, just the lake, Table Rock Lake. It's located in Branson. We're located in Southern Illinois. It's 5.5 hour drive, just to kind of give you a perspective. We are driving 5.5 hours to this tournament. That's tough on any boat, any trailer. People think that might be easy, but it's not. At the end of the day, wear and tear is definitely going to take its place. So before we get started, let me just do something real quick because I don't want to talk about sponsors too much, but I do want to thank them. So bear with me. Ozark Rods, without doubt, supports 3-pound fishing. We have the 3-pound fishing elite series, the 10-footer, the 11, 12, 13. I don't want to tell any secrets, but some other things might be coming out. And I can tell you that they're a big supporter of 3-pound fishing. We love Ozark Rods from the standpoint from everything. They really do stand behind 3-pound fishing. American Fish Tree. I have done every fish tree attractor you can imagine. Bamboo, PVC. I've brushed it. I've put stick beds together. And I can tell you folks, and I wanted to give this speech out on the stage and let people really know, but I felt like I was being pushed off the stage. I really felt like, and we'll get to that story, but American Fish Tree has some incredible fish tree attractors. And I really, truly believe in them. Any day of the week, I can go to those with my guide trips, and they're successful. Jinko Fishing. I'll tell you right now, throughout the tournament, I'm going to show you what I used. It's a orange head, slasher head, 32nd ounce head. Fantastic. Paired up with was it the Dirty Milk? Yep, it was the Dirty Milk. These two right here on Table Rock Lake. So if you ever go fish Table Rock Lake, this was the ticket. We had a camera boat with us, and I was catching one after another, and it was because of this bait right here. And they kept wondering why Marcus was trying, I think, a hair jig or something else at that moment, but they were like, he should have changed 4 fish ago.
Well, hold on now. I did end up catching a big fish during that.
Yes, he did. He
All
did.
right.
And you'll see that in that episode. But regardless, this was the ticket for me all week long. Jinko Fishing, we do appreciate you without a doubt. Cornfield Crappie Gear, what can you say about that? Best mounts ever.
Great people too.
And great people. Customer service, incredible. Mark, his wife. We just had a great time there on Sunday. If you came by and you saw us, then we appreciate it. And we just love, they're just good people. And we like hanging out with them. Grizzly Jig, I told this up on the stage that, you know, they were believers in, and you got the sweatshirt on tonight.
That's right. I love that store.
Yeah. So Winsville and Grizzly Jig, they were part of 3 Pound Fishing when we just got started. And I will always remember that. So that means a lot to me. I look forward to being with Boyd and Grizzly Jig forever.
I want to go back. I want to see the new store.
Yeah. So Power Poles, Lowe's, you know, those are great sponsors too. But at the end of the day, it's the smaller companies. You know, I always want to thank, because, you know, they're really supporting us big time. They all support us, but you know,
Couldn't have done it without them.
yeah,
That's for sure.
So how did we start this? I guess, you know, this was the biggest crappie tournament in the history of crappie tournaments. $200,000. It doubled from last year. So people, I don't know if you realize that, but from last year was 100,000. This year it's 200,000. And it was the biggest stage for crappie fishing. We got an invite. I had a lot of conversations with Wally, and he didn't realize actually that we were doing a lot of crappie fishing. He says, I want to invite you. And so that's why we got the invite. And I said, Marcus, you're the guy, let's do it. And me and Marcus fished a lot together. So the people that don't know, Marcus lives literally probably 5 miles down the road. So you see a lot of episodes with me and Marcus because, well, we live close. He gets off of work, we go fish.
And I'm a joy to fish with.
And he's funny. Right. So we have a great time. So it was, it certainly wasn't my first big tournament experience, but it was Marcus's big fish. So heading down to Table Rock, it was exciting, nervous.
Very nervous. But I think it was the same nerves for every tournament that I've done with you, but this one was a lot bigger.
We had 4 days of pre-fishing, and basically what feeds Table Rock Lake are one, I guess, is one called a creek. Long Creek is where we ended up fishing most of the time. You had James, and I can't recall.
King. There's multiple, but King and James, I think, are the two that are west. So
we get to the first day, we go to, basically we stay on the main body of water and a little bit of Long Creek. And we caught some good fish that first day. That first day, even actually, we actually wrote it out here.
Excited.
The first day of practice was pretty nice. It wasn't bad at all. And we were catching pound fish.
Yeah.
Thought pretty good. But let me tell you,
I think our first fish was a pounder.
Yeah. So Marcus tells me, he goes, man, the rain's coming. The rain's coming. And we decided we were going to trailer our boat to James River rather than try to make that run, which is basically a 45 boat ride. We actually headed up to James River and we fished for a total of 5 hours. We got off the water around 12:30.
It seemed like 24.
Yeah. So wait till you see this episode. That will come in. Actually, that isn't the first episode. That is tonight. It rains like you would not believe on day 2. That lightning. And it was the hardest fishing that we could experience. So
I've never fished in a thunderstorm like that.
Yeah. So, but you do, the amazing thing is when you have a big event like that, you do things that you probably wouldn't typically do, without a doubt. And because you have to maximize your practice time. So our day 2 got cut short. Day 3 was rainy. We stayed in Long Creek, and we never found, that was the day that we established that we weren't finding big fish all the way in the back of Long Creek. Right. Now, I look back at that and I say to myself, were we fishing deep enough? Because where we ended up finding the fish was deep. And I don't know if we were focused at that point in 20, 25, 30 foot of water. Right. We were more focused in at 15, 16.
Right. Day 1, we were like, the fish are 25 foot. Like, we got to find something shallower.
Yeah.
But that was, we should have been looking that depth the whole time, I think. But
that was day 3. And that's when we decided that we were going to make the change to the mouth of the creeks. We weren't going to stay all the way back. We were going to move out. And the thought process was that we had gotten so much rain is that maybe they were pushing those fish out of those.
And we
those
hammered
areas.
some nice ones out there.
Yes, we did. So day 3 and day 4, that's what we did. We established that we were going to stay towards the openings of those. At that time it was Long Creek. That's all we stayed at, and that was our plan. So, what else?
I mean, it rained. The first day was nice. 4 days following, straight rain and cold.
It was miserable.
Horrible.
I can't even begin to tell you.
Glad it's over.
Yeah. So Marcus didn't even have a rain suit. He had pretty much a poncho and a bear's hat, or maybe a 3-pound fish.
Three pound bear. I mean, I had 3 stocking caps, 3 pairs of gloves with me every day. I kept trying to change them out so I could stay warm.
Right.
Or as warm, or any 5 minutes of comfort would have been great. It was the toughest thing I've ever done, fishing that long in those conditions. Like, it was wore me down mentally and physically, for sure.
So Wally put on a great banquet the evening before the event, and basically I think there was 113 teams. So they were scheduled to only be 100. I believe it ended up being 113, and it was a wonderful dinner, sponsors, big opening for the event, for the Crappie Expo, etc. And that was fantastic. Great networking opportunity to meet a lot of people prior to the event. That was the night before the event, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. And people got to meet and mingle before the event. So the next morning was tournament day. A lot of boats. It was scheduled to rain all day. I think it actually stopped at 1 o'clock, but regardless, hard, miserably, like the second day.
Windy, cold.
And it was funny because Wally gave us everybody a slip. We all had slips in a marina, which was really nice to have. So, you could get and you'd put in at the boat ramp, and then you would mosey over to the marina, and you would have under a dock, so you were protected from the elements, which was really nice. That was the most brutal day of fishing I've ever experienced. Now, day 2 of practice was horrible, but we were able to get off the water and say, we're good. During the tournament, you don't want to do that. So this was one that we had to take in the teeth. And people talked about it. If you look back at the top 25 that got up on stage, they all mentioned the weather and what had happened. And that day 1 was the most painful day. So what we wanted to do today was kind of share some of the things that went on that you don't know. So up to this point, we didn't share. And you can talk. You talk about day 1. What happened?
Day 1, pull up to our spot. Windy, cold, raining, cats and dogs.
15-mile-an-hour winds.
And I'm getting the poles unhooked and ready to go, and live scope's not working. I'm just devastated.
Yes.
But we got Mr. Fix-It over here.
So I always keep a voltmeter. And what I identified real quick was that we weren't getting power up to the bow of the boat. And rather than mess with connections, there are a couple of connections where I know where they're at. But because we were getting rained on, we were solid rain. I can't even emphasize that enough. At 15 mile an hour, rather than start opening up little crannies of the boat and trying to find out which connection is loose, I always bring 20, 25 feet of wire, two spools, actually, a red and black. And I just said, screw it. So I disconnected the live scope, which is always a nerve wracking, right? Because so you're disconnecting your
Could have been done right there.
You did. I take a wire cutter and I cut my live scope off the power that it had been getting. And I literally stringed it across the deck of the boat and brought that power straight to the live scope. And it only lost, I think we lost maybe about 40 minutes of fishing time.
What scared me was when you said, we're going to kill our trolling motor. Let's get out of the wind. And at that point, that was our best spot. And I was just worried somebody was going to steal it from us. But you made the right call. You made the right call.
So our best spot was, we called it number one. And we're trying to work on this trolling motor in 15-mile-an-hour winds and rain. And I was like, I can't do this. So we left that into a cove that was protected, at least by the wind. And that's what we're saying, that somebody could have came in and stole it. So No one did. No one in their right mind would have fished that spot like we did that day.
I'm just thankful I never tripped on those wires on the
It's all day. You'll see that in the episode. I don't know if that'll be episode number 2, where you see that all happening and you see it streamed across the deck. You work all week, right? You spend so much money on hotels and food and everything. And then the opening day of the event, I can't put the emphasis on it enough. And people that are in these tournaments know it. People come with extra trolling motors. They come with extra batteries. They come with extra whatever. I can tell you right now, I would put 25 foot of red wire, black wire, put them in your boat, because at the end of the time, if anything happens, you can at least string power straight from a battery. There it is that you need to get done. And worked.
It did.
So, and we in fact went back to that spot as soon as it got to work and had 20 or 12 and a half volts. And I can't remember if we caught any good fish there, but we took it in the teeth.
I don't know if we kept them at the end, but we took 2 keepers off of it.
Okay. Yeah.
But I don't know if we kept them at the end. I hope not. But
and what we're kind of skipping over a little bit just to we really do want to keep this to a 25-minute live stream, is that we did have a lot of issues also leading up to that. During the pre-fish, we lost a battery. Trolling motor didn't work. Remember that?
Yep.
And that was 2 days prior to the deal. So we were finding ourselves at O'Reilly's for.
That was awesome.
Yeah, that was a good experience. We got a new battery, and
they were very nice. Met a guy from Champaign there.
Yeah, they were nice, but it was the busiest parking lot we could have ever picked. So I was like, stay away from my boat. I did not want anybody.
Don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. Yeah. So it was an adventure. So, I hopefully this isn't a spoiler alert, but we go on to day 2 of the Mr. Crappie Invitational. And that was, I loved what you said, which was all of that work we had done up to that point was for today. Today we get a good day.
Right. That was going to be our reward.
That was our reward. So,
that's right.
Even if we didn't make day 3, we felt like we were being, I guess, blessed with a day of fishing on Table Rock. Right.
4 days straight, and then finally a day without rain.
Yeah. Talk about the ride out to that spot on day 2, though.
The fog?
Yes.
Oh, my goodness. These people who do this all the time are warriors, man. This was death-defying. I mean, anybody who knows me knows I'm a little worried about some stuff, and we couldn't see, I would say, 15 foot in front of the boat, and serious tournament guys flying out. We got bridges we got to go under. At one point, he said, I'm not sure if we've gone through the bridge yet, and that terrifies me, because that's a concrete wall, numerous concrete walls that you could have hit, and yet we had been through the bridge. When we finally saw the bridge, it was 15 feet away from us. Thank God, I don't think anybody got hurt or anything, but
it was a situation where I had said several prayers on the way to our first spot, and it was terrifying. We were going 25 miles an hour. And we, of course, I'm riding a 115, which is a small motor. I know that. But these guys are running 300s, and these guys are rolling. So
I'm looking left.
We're looking everywhere we can, and it is the thickest fog. I can't even explain to you. You laugh at it now, but then it was terrifying. It was very scary. So I don't want to elaborate too much on day 2, because that's another video, but we had a great experience with a camera crew. It was the first time that 3-pound fishing had been on the camera, and to have somebody, how did you feel about having a camera crew there?
Well, since it was day 2, I wasn't as happy about it as you were. I wanted to get in on the fishing, but it didn't hurt us any. You love to talk and fish. It's kind of cool.
It was interesting. Yeah. So, what else is there to talk about instead of, so again, we don't want to, we make it to day 3.
You talk about your motor not starting.
Oh, let's talk about this. Yeah. On day 2, we talk about malfunctions. Every day we were able to get through it. But on day 2, Wally says it's time for the national anthem. Everybody needs to pull away from the dock, whatever. It wasn't raining, so it was okay. We all pulled away from the dock. Everybody's going out towards the flag, so we do the prayer and everything. And my motor doesn't start. How about that? How about that for day 2? And I look over at Marcus and I say, hey, motor's not starting. The navigation light's not even coming on. I have power on. Now this boat's taking a lot of rain. So rain just does weird things to a lot of things. It doesn't matter how you shake a stick.
Scale.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if we'll get to that story, but there's just a lot of stories. But the motor wouldn't start, and I just kept turning the key, messing with everything, and boom, all of a sudden it starts up. For day 2, we ran our motor for 3 hours at our spot. So once we got to
turn it off,
we were scared to turn it off. And it worked out. It kept LiveScope's power extremely high. We never had a problem with the trolling motor whatsoever. But so, and on the flip side, the guys that we had a dinner with at the banquet, they made day 1, and they made the cut after day 1. They were there that same day, day 2. Their motor didn't start, and they didn't get to fish.
Alan Dyer and Ted Hayes.
Yeah, so
we felt bad for them.
Yeah, we felt terrible for them, and we got to know them very well, and we talked to them pretty much the rest of the weekend, and it happens. So people don't realize that a lot of the boats don't make it through the entire event because of how stressful it is.
There was numerous. How many did they say?
On day 2, it was 5 boats that didn't make it because of a breakdown, and theirs was one of those boats. So it happens. It's amazing. People don't. I told you when we left, I said, expect the unexpected. Something's going to happen, and we're going to have to scramble to make it happen.
I just broke my heart. Those guys, man, they were dead set on this event. Like, man, hearing them talk at dinner and then hearing what happened to them.
Yeah,
we heard about it at the weigh-in day 2. For those of you who tuned in for that, but that was,
yeah. It was something else. So we make it to day 3. Oh, another thing is, before we went to any of these weigh-ins, day 1 or day 2, we did not think we were going to make the next day. No. I think day 1 we said there's a chance, and you'll see that here in the video.
Right.
Day 2, without a doubt, we thought we were done.
For sure.
We thought our weight was the same as day 1. We did improve a little bit on the scale, but I always feel good about that. When I go to the weigh-in and I don't feel good, usually good things happen. If I go there with like, oh, I did good, I feel good.
Right.
It never works out that way. So we went to the scale not feeling confident at all, and those 2 days worked out to our favor. So we work into day 3. After day 2, let me go back to the evening of day 2. I think the group of fishermen, the 25 that made day 2, became a lot closer. I thought that there was a vibe in the air. It was really cool. Mm-hmm. There was something different. There was definitely a vibe there that I thought that was really, really cool. Pictures. Wally gave a talk that, now, if you know Wally, he's gonna talk. He's gonna talk. It's kind
of like you.
Yeah, he talked. He talks a lot more than I do. He talks, and he, what's great about Wally is he sells the sport, and he loves it. It comes across, even if it's a lot of it, but he loves the sport, and so he wants to further the sport, and that's important. And so we go to day 3 was all about, and our goal was on day 3 was just to beat our previous day. It's always my goal is to beat the previous day. We were in 20th spot.
20th spot. Yeah.
And so our goal was just to at least match our number, if not beat it. We thought we'd have fish. I mean, honestly, our 3 spots that we were fishing, we certainly didn't fish them out. There was nobody else fishing them. We were pretty much alone. So we figured the same thing would happen. This is the only day we have no mechanical problems of the entire trip, other than day 1. Day 1 and the first day and the last day are the only days.
Besides the fog, it was the nicest weather too.
It was beautiful. So we fished. We fished like we did any other day. And on that day, we just didn't catch any big fish. We didn't lose any fish. We caught a ton of fish. I can't imagine how many fish we boated. We just couldn't get the big fish. So with that, I think that we felt fantastic. We actually came into the weigh-in. Yeah, we knew we didn't do good.
Yeah.
But they cut the fishing time down by an hour and a half. That we thought maybe that would be significant on everybody's weights. And I think it was, except for the leaders, the 1, 2, and 3s were the only ones that really didn't make a huge impact on. But I don't know. Would you have done anything different?
No. I mean, it's a huge lake. Like, yeah, we stuck with a spot, tried to learn it, and with our experience level, I mean, I think we did what we could do.
Yeah, I don't.
We're not going to make the 45-minute run. Thank God, not in that fog.
No,
Right.
It was another foggy morning that next day, and so it was another. I mean, just getting to that spot was sketchy at best. But we did change our lineup. We had a new number 1 area. We stayed there for the most of the entire day, and we saw some big fish. But we really never hooked into any. We just had a ton of 0.84s, 8.4, 8.4, 8.4. Our biggest fish on day 3 was a 1-pounder. Oh, well, that brings up the scale situation. So on day 2, Marcus touched the scale and apparently it broke. So we didn't have a scale. So the evening before day 3, we had to go to Walmart and buy a scale. And this thing was not as accurate. I believe it.
Right. You're right on that.
I believe that.
Yeah.
So we came to the stage. Well, first off, the convoy.
I didn't break the scale though, right? Like,
I think the scale was. I'm going to tell you this. There was so much water.
Exactly. Yeah. Water.
So the Rapala 50-pound tournament scale is going back today. It's actually packaged up there in the kitchen. They were awesome enough to say that they would replace it. I called them up. I said flat out, I said, I'm in the biggest tournament of my life, and your scale does not work. And they said, send it back. We'll send you a new one. And that was it.
That's cool though.
And that's exactly how I said it and what I said. And that was it. I left him a voicemail, and he left me a voicemail coming back saying, send it back. Here's where to send it. I'll send you a new one.
But man, you're not going to see it. But the ass chewing I got about this scale, all I hit was the power button. But under those conditions and that stress level, but we got through it, and the batteries got changed out, and
that was on day 2 though. Yeah, because we had to replace it.
That was day 2. Yeah,
and our day 2 was not going good. I mean, again, we came to day 2 when we were doing our fish. We were pretty much solidified that we weren't going to make it. So our mindset was kind of like exhausted from the week, and
I was crushed.
Yeah,
very crushed.
Well, on your way walking, you say, "I think we made it, Matt." But
that was day one.
No,
that was day 1.
I think it was. Was it day 1?
That was day 1. Day 2, I was devastated. I was like, there ain't no way. Ain't no way.
Yeah. We did good on a lake. Here's what I like about the Wally Marshall event is that it's off limits.
Yes.
Fair. It is flat out, straight up. You're going to go experience a lake, and everybody's going to be coming at the same point. And I think we can compete with these guys on that level.
Yes.
So if you're going to go to, we're always going to be able to compete at some level, no doubt about it. But, you go to Ross Barnett, you go to these other lakes. These guys have experience. They know people. They fish these lakes longer than us, plain and simple. It's going to be hard to compete with that when you've started tournament fishing 2 years ago.
But he doesn't allow guides.
Doesn't allow guides.
Can't be on the lake since a certain date.
Yeah, so the top 20
cut off.
Yeah, the top 25, we're not allowed to fish Red River, and neither are any of these guys. And you're not allowed to get information from anybody.
And I had a guy I wanted to talk to so bad,
and I said,
Shane,
"Nope,
Shane,
don't even talk."
Yeah,
but I think everybody honors that big time. I really got the vibe that was legit. And we took it very serious. And so that for me is a big deal with Mr. Crappie Invitational. I thought that was huge.
Yeah, I mean, how could you feel good if you went against those rules,
Well, no, not that, but I'm just saying I think all tournaments you can't do that on all tournaments. I get it. But I thought that was a great point of Mr. Crappie Invitational is that you're coming to a lake that nobody knows. And so you'll never see this event on a lake like Grenada or Ross Barnett or Lake Washington. You just won't because too many people fish those lakes, I think.
I think he could. He won't let the guides or
try to
keep people off who fished it recently. And
I like learning the new lakes too.
And where's it at? Red River?
Red River in Louisiana. I'm going to read some of those comments up there, big boy.
Oh, man, I didn't bring my cheaters here. Sleepy Joe is stealing the election.
We've got some great things. I don't want to talk about products, folks, but I can tell you that Ozark Rods has got some really cool things coming out for 2021. So you can check them out at ozarkrod.com. I'm doing a weekend with American Fish, how great those products are. Cornfield Crappie Gear, I was there in their booth for all day Sunday. And if you haven't seen some of these cool, I've got the telescope mount for my live scope, and it is, I love it. But he's come up with another one that's got hydraulics on it that it actually folds down so you can get your boat cover over it.
I like that.
Yeah. So totally stoked about it. So they're all great people. And there are new sponsors that are coming on for 2021. So I can't wait to share that with you. We're going to be at all the tournaments, not at all of them, but you have to pick and choose what you can and can't do. But between the Crappie Masters, American Crappie Trail, and then the local events, you always want to support the local events. So
got a great comment here.
Go for it.
You ready?
Yep.
Just came through. Trent Huber, congratulations on the finish.
Trent.
With having Marcus on as a new partner, was the teamwork better? Obviously, you two have been friends for a long time, but was it better?
So it was horrible, Trent. Horrible.
We fish great together one day at a time. When it's not cold and raining and stress. We had a few issues, but we worked through them. I mean, we got through them quick.
So me and Marcus fish together more than I don't fish with anybody more than I do with Marcus.
Yeah, I've never fished with anybody more than you.
So, and it's because we live close together and because we love crappie fishing, period. And we get along. So it made sense to be with Marcus in the biggest event it just does. And hopefully, we'll see how things work out for next year, but it was easy. He anticipates moves that I'm doing that I don't have to even explain. And that comes from fishing with each other every day. If you go to a tournament with somebody that does not fish with you on a regular basis, it's difficult. And we never had to talk about like where you're tossing. Marcus and I, it's like seamless. We wouldn't have to talk for 45 minutes. And it wasn't because we were mad at each other. We just wouldn't have to talk because I'd pitch and he knew he was following right after it, or he watches the live so constantly he drops and follows it when I'm not pitching to it. It is like, for that, I really do. I mean, I thanked you on stage because I meant it. It's like, it's easy to fish with Marcus for me because we fish so much together and we get it. Now, Marcus is joking because there's tension in a boat when you're in a tournament. It's a different ball game, especially at this level and the weather and stuff like that we were encountering. But
7 days straight, like it's gonna,
yeah, that's gonna happen. But what's funny is that when we would have tension between each other, we'd work it out like immediately and then start ripping on it and having fun with it, which was really cool. Unless you can't sleep at night and you're still.
It was real fun, guys.
But
no, okay.
It was easy.
Hey man, I wanted to win just as much as you.
Yeah.
Like, that was the goal.
So our thing was 110%, and to try to improve on a daily basis. And we did after 1 and 2. I would say that our tournament fishing for 1, 2, and 3 were just as equal to our pre-fishing. Our pre-fishing was pretty good, but I wouldn't say like, I remember Louisiana having such a good pre-fish day. It depressed me because I knew it was going to be hard to better that on tournament day. And then you feel like you didn't do as good. I'd almost rather not have a good pre-fishing day, and it really pushes you on tournament day.
Yeah.
So
yeah, as long as you got the spots. Right?
Yeah. So folks, it's been 40 minutes. We're gonna let go here, and I'm gonna release the first episode of Table Rock Lake. It'll be day 1 and 2 of pre-fishing, and I hope you appreciate it. We appreciate you for hanging out with us, and
I can't wait to see it. I'm excited.
yeah, he hasn't seen it yet. So
I want to see it.
thanks again. We appreciate you. Take it easy.